Hey everybody, Jabman025 here. Today I'm taking a look at only my second real grade kit, the Justice Gundam from the series Mobile Suit Gundam Seed. Always kind of like the look of the Justice. I have a Master Grade Infinite Justice, but there is no Master Grade of the Justice, at least right now. So I decided to pick this guy up and see what we got. Now, one thing about the real grade line is it does have an internal frame like a Master Grade, but the frame is not like a Master Grade, in that you take the whole pieces of the frame off the tree. This is the whole thing of the foot. You take it off the tree as one. That being said, the whole thing still moves. There's joints on it. So it's kind of weird when you're taking a whole chunk of the frame off a part tree, yet you still can move everything on it. You then just put the armor around the frame, just like a Master Grade, and you do not lose any of that movement. You can still get a nice bend out of the feet and the toe section there. Plenty of good movement. The armor really doesn't hamper it at all. Again, here you see the entire leg frame. You take this whole thing off the tree in one piece, but it still has movable joints. It still has links that move, and you just build the armor around it. But one thing about this is the joints are very, very tight, and you got to be very careful and very slow when you're bending things. No speedy movements, no rushing to poses. Can't be, Speedy Gonzalez with this thing. Take your time, move the joint slowly, don't rush it, or you might break something. Remember, this is a 1/144 scale, so those are very, very tiny moving parts on this kit. Here you see the waist frame. When I say you take it off the tree, sometimes you do have things to do. You got to cut these little links here, twist parts, remaneuver things. So you do have a little bit of work to build the frame, but it's still, you got to take the whole thing as a chunk off the part tree. Torso, really like the way the torso looks. The accent of the white there really looks good. You do have some lining to do on this kit, not a ton. Skirt armor, again, you can see the two-tone of different pinks and purples color that kind of really mesh well. That's kind of become the signature of the real grain line. The arm is one of the weirder pieces on this kit. This is what you take off the tree, as you see here, but you have to twist parts, connect parts. There's lots of different swivels here. When you're building a real grade kit, you will be referring to the manual a lot to figure out what you're doing. It's an interesting build, but at times you have no idea what you're doing, and you will screw up and have to go back and fix it. I did it a couple times. You see there's a neat link on the back of the arm there. As you bend it, the elbow, that link will come up. Really neat stuff on this kit, but like I said, you're going to screw up when you build this kit. Accept it. The head, you do have a little bit of painting to do here. The blue section on top of the head does not come blue. It comes plain old clear, so you got to add some clear blue there, and they don't give you a sticker. Why not? I do not know. Now, at this point, I decided, okay, I'm going to go in and do the decals at this point on this part, as so. The decals are good, but they are a step back from when I built the RX-78-2 real grade. At the time, I said those are the best decals that I had ever seen. Perfectly cut, looks great. This is a step back. Are they bad? Heck no, but they are not as good as the original RX-78-2. Lots of different options with the decals. I'll give you that. Now, I always like options. You can use different decals in different parts. They give you A or B or whatever you want to do. They give you the gold parts for the back of the leg and the elbow, and unlike the RX-78-2, those don't peel off when you're moving things around. So, a lot better there. The glider. We have some issues with the glider. Now, I do not know if this is just my kit. I do not know if this is a common theme, but I have gaps in the glider where the plates or the parts fit together. I took this apart 2 or 3 times to try and figure out what I was doing wrong, and I put it together 2 or 3 times to see if I fixed it. No. There's still tiny little gaps in the plates. Granted, if you didn't know where to look, you probably wouldn't even notice them. I know where to look, and it bugs me a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but it's still a pain in the butt. You see the glider collapses and extends. You have the barrels that pop out, the wings move, cannons on the front move. Again, lots of decals on this kit. There's always been lots of decals on real grades, no change here. And again, decals are good on the glider, but kind of a step back from the RX-78-2. Still far from bad, though. You still get the silver decals, the metallic look. Gives a little bit of extra flavor to this. Looks good. Now, once you connect this onto the back, it becomes back heavy as sin. Yeah, I'm sure none of you are really shocked by this. An Atheron suit that's back heavy. Shocking, I know. But yeah, you pretty much can't get him to stand like this. When it's facing downward like this, you got to have him standing against a wall or something, or he's falling over all the time. Now, that being said, he can't stand when the thing is propped up at the back. How, you may ask? Well, they give it this little prop here at the back, kind of like a kickstand, or a third leg, if you like. It holds the thing up. When I first saw this, like, there's no way this is going to work. There's just no way it's going to work. It does. It works great. I kind of wish it was molded in clear so it didn't stand out so much, but that's not a huge issue. So, yes, you can have this guy standing. You don't have to have an action base. That being said, I still recommend you get one. You do not have to have an action base for this kit, but to get any decent poses, it's recommended you do so. I got the action base 3. Why? I don't know. I didn't have one. Thought it'd be neat. Got him up there flying. Once he's airborne, no problems. Do any pose you want, any weapon you want. No issues. Now, one neat thing is there's a couple of platforms on the back. You flip a piece up, and there's a couple of teeth that hook into the bottom of the Justice Gundam's feet. Put those in, slide it into place, it locks solid, and he is not coming off, ever. Get all sorts of neat poses, angles, upside down if you want. He's never fallen off, no issues. Accessories, you get different hands. You get an open style hand and a trigger hand, only for the right hand, oddly enough. You get 2 fists, and you get the real grade hands. What are real grade hands? Well, that is a 3-1 in the thumb hand, but both the 3 fingers, the index finger, and the thumb are all jointed. So lots of dexterity out of those tiny, tiny little fingers. I have no idea how they do that, but I still think it's neat. Shield on this kit. Oddly enough, a pain in the butt to have this kit hold. Usually the shield is the easiest thing to hold on a kit, but not here. It's tough to get it linked into place, and even when it is linked in, you can occasionally knock it loose and it'll fall right off. Not a big problem, though. Beam boomerang, you get 2, obviously. They actually connect onto the shoulder. That is those little white pieces, and you get the 2 beam effect parts. Beam rifle, no problem here. It has that trigger hand I showed you earlier. Connect that in. It's never dropping it, ever. Beam sabers. You get double-bladed or 2 individual blades. I did like that they shrank down the beam saber blades. I mentioned in the RX-78-2 review, they used a full-size 1/100th beam saber blade, which looked overkill. They shrank these down a little bit. Not by much, but makes it a little more to scale. When you're not using the beam sabers, you can hook them into the side skirts here. There's a little lever that pops up, slide them in, lock them into place, close the lever, and there you go. And it looks pretty good. Like I said, once he's on an action base, you can get all sorts of neat poses. Looks real good. Final thoughts on this kit. I am giving this kit a thumbs up, but I will say this kit was a little bit of a disappointment. Maybe I had too much high hopes for this kit, but it's a good kit. I was kind of expecting a great kit. Turned out to be a good kit. That being said, this is by far the best version of the Justice, because the only other versions of the Justice are no grades and high grades, and this easily mops the floor with both. So if you want a Justice Gundam, this is your best bet right here. Looks great, good weapons, good posability. Overall, the best version of the Justice Gundam. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review. Hope you found it informative. Please leave a comment. You guys know I love reading them. If you got any questions, ask them. I'll answer them as best I can. Thanks again, guys, and I will see you next time with another review. Oh, and one more thing. I'm really happy with the way he turned out, but I think he needs a friend.